Let's be honest. Is that expensive bottle of steak rub you bought last summer really worth the money? We're always told that these complex, expertly crafted blends are the key to a perfect steak. But what if the real secret isn't in a bottle at all? Today, we're settling the great steak debate. We're putting two world-famous, store-bought seasonings up against a homemade blend so simple, you definitely have the ingredients in your pantry right now. This is a totally blind taste test, and I have a feeling the final verdict is going to change the way you grill forever. First up in our showdown is a true legend, a bottle you'll find in pantries all across the country. McCormick Grill Mates, Montreal Steak Seasoning. This is that classic steakhouse flavor many of us grew up with. It's famous for its iconic, chunky blend of garlic, coarse pepper, and other spices that just screams bold, savory flavor. For millions, this is what a steak is supposed to taste like. It's consistent, it's reliable, and it promises a killer crust every single time. Our second contender is a champ from the competitive BBQ world, Cosmos Q Dry Rub Texas Beef. This one's got some serious street cred, even being part of a World Steak Championship win. The flavor profile is completely different from the Montreal. It's savory and balanced, sure, but it has this extra hint of citrus and lemon that promises a unique Texas-sized flavor. It's designed to bring out the absolute best in beef, making it a go-to for anyone looking to really impress. And our final challenger? It's the ultimate underdog, a simple homemade blend. There's no fancy packaging here because it's just 3 ingredients. That's it. We're using a mix of kosher salt, coarse black pepper, and garlic powder. The whole idea here is about control and freshness. No anti-caking agents, no preservatives, no secret formulas. The real question is, can something this simple actually compete with the giants? To keep this a fair fight, we're using 3 beautiful, identical cuts of ribeye steak. Each steak gets its own seasoning, and trust me, we're applying them generously on all sides. First, the McCormick Montreal. You can see that coarse texture right away. Those big flakes of pepper and garlic are made to create a serious crust, and you can smell that classic steakhouse aroma the second it hits the meat. Next up, the Cosmos Q Texas Beef. This rub is a little finer, but you can still see all the different spices in there. The smell is more complex. It's got that savory, oniony base, but with a pop of something bright and zesty. Finally, our simple homemade blend. We're just mixing the kosher salt, black pepper, and garlic powder together and patting it on evenly. It might look basic, but the goal isn't to cover up the beef's flavor. It's to make it better. The best seasonings should enhance the meat, not overpower it. We're going to let all 3 steaks hang out for about 30 minutes to let those flavors really sink in before they hit the grill. All right, it's time to head to the grill. To make sure this is a completely fair competition, all 3 steaks are being cooked exactly the same way. We're going with a screaming hot sear to lock in all the juices and build that beautiful caramelized crust we're all after. We'll cook them to a perfect medium rare and then, the most important part, let them rest properly. The sizzle, the smoke, the smell, this is what grilling is all about. Each steak is developing its own unique crust. The Montreal is getting dark and rugged, the Cosmos is turning a beautiful deep red, and the homemade rub is creating that classic simple char. They all look incredible, but we all know the real test comes down to taste. The steaks have rested, they're sliced, and we are ready for the moment of truth. To keep myself honest, I've labeled each plate with a number, so I have absolutely no idea which steak is which. Time for the blind taste test. Let's start with steak number 1. Okay, the crust on this is intense. It's super savory, super bold. That pepper and garlic hit you right up front. It's a huge punch of flavor. If you want a seasoning that takes charge, this is it. It's delicious, but the seasoning is definitely the star of the show here. On to steak number 2. Whoa, this is completely different. The crust is still fantastic, but the flavor is way more nuanced. I'm getting a savory, slightly sweet and tangy thing happening that I can't quite put my finger on. It's incredibly flavorful and unique, and it just works so well with the richness of the ribeye. A very sophisticated flavor. And finally, steak number 3. Wow, that's interesting. The flavor is much more subtle than the other two. The first thing you taste is the beef. The salt seasoned it perfectly. The pepper gives it a gentle warmth, and the garlic is just a nice savory background note. It's not a punch of flavor. It's a perfect harmony. The crust is amazing, but it's the rich, beefy flavor of the steak itself that's really shining through. This is just pure, unadulterated steak. This is tough. Honestly, all 3 steaks were fantastic, but there can only be one winner. Steak number 1, with that massive, bold, peppery flavor, was the McCormick Montreal Steak Seasoning. No surprise there. It's a classic for a reason. Steak number 2, with its unique, savory, and slightly citrusy tang, turned out to be the award-winning Cosmos Q Texas Beef. It's an amazing, complex rub that will definitely make your steak stand out from the crowd. And steak number 3, the one that let the pure beef flavor take center stage. That was our simple 3-ingredient homemade blend. And for that reason, the winner of this showdown is the homemade rub. While the store-bought rubs were delicious, they were also a bit overpowering. They almost masked the flavor of the high-quality beef. The simple blend of salt, pepper, and garlic did what a seasoning is supposed to do. It made the steak taste like a better version of itself. Now, I want to hear from you. What's your go-to steak seasoning? Is it a famous brand, a local secret, or your own homemade creation? Drop your favorite rub in the comments below. And if you had fun with this showdown and want to see more taste tests, make sure you hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. So, what's the big takeaway here? You don't need to spend a ton of money or track down some fancy bottle to make an incredible steak. While they're convenient and tasty, many store-bought rubs can end up overpowering the very thing you're trying to enjoy. Sometimes the simplest approach delivers the best results. By focusing on the basics, salt, pepper, and garlic, you put the rich, natural flavor of the beef front and center. And when you've bought a beautiful piece of steak, that's exactly where the focus should be. And don't forget to hit that subscribe and like button for more tips, tricks, and recipes for your grill.